Sam lived in a small apartment above a bakery that always smelled like warm bread. Every morning he woke up to the sound of horns from the street below and the smell of dough rising in the ovens. His life was simple. He worked as a food delivery guy, carrying bags of noodles, pizza, and boxes of fried chicken to people across the city. The job was tiring, but it paid the bills, and Sam never complained. He rode an old scooter that shook whenever he went faster than 40. The paint had peeled from the sides, and one mirror was cracked, but the scooter was loyal. It carried him across busy roads, narrow alleys, and crowded markets every single day. He had memorized almost every street, every shortcut, and every corner where traffic lights wasted time. On that particular morning, the city was alive with noise. Vendors shouted about fresh fruit. Children ran with school bags bouncing behind them. Music from small shops mixed with the sound of traffic. Sam adjusted his helmet, checked the list of deliveries on his phone, and began another long day. The first few hours passed quickly. He stopped at apartment buildings, climbed endless flights of stairs, smiled politely at customers, and hurried back down. Some people gave him tips, others barely looked at him. Sam had grown used to it. To most people, he was invisible, just another delivery worker moving through the city. But Sam did not mind. He had learned to enjoy small things, the cool breeze when he sped through an open road, the kind smile of the old lady who always ordered soup from the same shop, or the way the city lights glowed at night. These small moments kept him going. It was late afternoon when the strange event began. Sam had one more order to deliver before his short break. He was riding through an older part of the city where the buildings leaned toward each other and the streets narrowed into shadows. His scooter rattled as he passed over uneven stones. As he turned into a quiet alley, something caught his eye. At first, he thought it was just a piece of glass reflecting sunlight. But the light did not fade. It pulsed softly, like the glow of a living thing. Curious, Sam stopped his scooter and stepped closer. On the ground lay a small object, no larger than his palm. It looked like a toy, yet nothing like toys he had seen before. The object had three thin rings that slowly rotated around a crystal at the center. The rings moved as if floating without any support. Every few seconds, the crystal released a soft blue shimmer that rippled across the surface of the rings. Sam bent down and picked it up. The object was surprisingly light, almost weightless, but it gave a gentle vibration against his skin. He turned it around, trying to find a button or a switch. It looked advanced, like something from a science fiction movie, yet it had no seams or marks of human design. "Strange toy," Sam muttered. He slipped it into his delivery bag, planning to look at it later when he had time. For now, the food needed to be delivered. He finished his round, but his thoughts kept returning to the glowing toy. Even while waiting at traffic lights, his mind drifted back to the strange rings and the crystal's soft hum. No toy should move on its own like that. By evening, the city had grown cooler. Lights blinked on across the skyline, and the streets filled with workers heading home. Sam parked his scooter near his building and climbed the narrow stairs to his small apartment. He placed the delivery bag on the table and carefully pulled out the object. Under the dim bulb of his room, the toy glowed brighter than before. Sam sat on his bed and studied it closely. When he touched one of the rings, it shifted smoothly, rearranging itself around the crystal. The hum grew louder for a moment, then softened again. Sam's eyes widened with surprise. "This is no normal toy," he whispered. He tried shaking it, but it stayed solid. He pressed the crystal, and the rings spun faster before settling back. Every move felt deliberate, like the object was alive in some small way. Sam laughed nervously. Maybe it was some kind of expensive gadget that a rich kid dropped. Or maybe it was a new technology he had never seen before. Whatever it was, it didn't belong to the city. He placed it on the table and made instant noodles for dinner. But while eating, his eyes never left the glowing object. The room felt different with it there, as if the air carried a quiet energy. That night, long after he turned off the lights and lay down to sleep, the toy did something unexpected. It glowed brighter and brighter until symbols appeared in the air above it. The symbols floated like glowing handwriting, twisting in patterns Sam could not understand. He sat up quickly, heart racing, staring at the strange lights. The toy hummed louder, filling the small room with a low vibration. Sam reached out, and the symbols shifted in response to his hand. He pulled back, shocked. It was as if the object could sense him. For a moment, the thought crossed his mind, was this really a toy, or something else? Sam felt both fear and excitement. Whatever this was, it was not human technology. He tried to calm himself, telling his mind it was just a trick of light or maybe some hidden projector inside the device. But as he lay down again, he knew the truth deep inside. His ordinary day had ended the moment he picked up that object in the alley. The next morning started like any other for Sam. The bakery downstairs was already alive with the smell of fresh bread. The noise of the street filled the air. Car horns echoed, children laughed as they rushed to school, and the city began its endless rhythm once more. But inside Sam's room, the atmosphere was different. The strange object from the alley still sat on the table, glowing faintly even in daylight. Sam rubbed his eyes, thinking maybe he had dreamed what happened the night before. He approached the table and leaned closer. The object was real. The three rings were still moving gently around the crystal, their motion smooth and endless. When he touched it, the familiar hum returned, like the soft purr of a machine that never stopped. Sam sat on his bed and studied it carefully. He tried pressing the surface again. This time the rings shifted faster, and the crystal glowed brighter. Suddenly, a faint beam of light shot upward, filling the air with more of those strange floating symbols. Sam gasped and pulled back, but the symbols remained. They danced in the air above the toy like glowing letters from another language. "What are you?" he whispered. He reached out slowly, and as his hand moved closer, the symbols rearranged themselves. They formed shapes that looked almost like maps or directions. Sam could not read them, but he knew this was no trick. He grabbed his phone and took a picture, but the camera showed only a blur of light. The symbols were invisible to the camera, seen only by his eyes. That made the object even stranger. For hours, Sam experimented. He pressed the rings, turned the object in his hands, even tapped it gently against the table. Each time, the toy responded differently. Sometimes it released a soft tone like music. Other times, the symbols formed a circle that hovered for a moment before fading away. At one point, the toy even lifted a few centimeters into the air, floating on its own before settling back down. Sam's mouth went dry. No toy on earth could do that. By afternoon, he realized he was late for deliveries. Reluctantly, he placed the object back into his bag and rushed out. But all through the day, while delivering food boxes and smiling at customers, his thoughts returned again and again to the glowing toy. He wanted answers. That night, after finishing work, Sam returned to his room with excitement and a little fear. He locked the door and pulled the object from his bag. As soon as it touched the table, it glowed brighter than before, almost as if it recognized him. This time the symbols appeared quickly. They expanded across the room like a small galaxy of lights. Sam sat still, his eyes wide, watching them float and swirl. The hum grew louder, filling the entire space. Then something new happened. The symbols began to connect, forming lines and patterns until they shaped what looked like a figure. It was faint at first, like smoke, but it grew clearer with every passing second. Sam's heart raced. He wanted to run, but he was frozen in place. The figure that appeared was not human. It was tall, with long arms and smooth skin that shone like polished silver. Its eyes glowed gently, not threatening but strangely calm. The figure did not step forward. Instead, it hovered like a projection, looking directly at him. Sam's breath caught in his throat. Was this a machine? A recording? Or something alive speaking through the toy? The figure opened its mouth, but no sound came. Instead, Sam felt the words inside his head. A calm, deep voice spoke clearly, not through the air but through his mind. "Who holds the beacon?" the voice asked. Sam's hands trembled. He wanted to answer, but he could barely form words. After a moment he whispered, "I found it." The figure's glowing eyes softened. "Then it has chosen you." Sam's heart pounded. "What do you mean? What is this thing?" The figure raised one silver hand. The toy responded instantly, glowing brighter. "This is no toy. It is a beacon. A key to connect worlds. It has been lost for a long time. Many have searched for it. By picking it up, you have awakened it." Sam shook his head in disbelief. "I am just a delivery guy. I do not know anything about keys or worlds. I just found it on the floor." The voice echoed calmly. "The beacon does not choose by mistake. You are now its bearer. With it, you carry both danger and responsibility." The words made Sam feel small and overwhelmed. He wanted to put the beacon down, to pretend none of this was real. But when he tried to push it away, it hummed louder, almost pulling back toward him. It was as if the object refused to leave his side. The figure's glow flickered. "Others will come for it. They will track it. They will stop at nothing. You must decide if you will keep it or surrender it." Sam looked at the glowing rings. The thought of someone hunting him down for this thing sent shivers through his body. Yet another feeling grew inside him too. Curiosity. A strange sense that this was not just an accident. That his life, which had always felt ordinary, was now tied to something far greater. Before he could ask more, the figure began to fade. The light dimmed, the symbols dissolved, and the room grew quiet again. The toy lay still on the table, glowing faintly, almost peacefully. Sam sat in silence, trying to process what had just happened. His heart still raced, but his mind was filled with questions. Who was that figure? Where did it come from? And why him, of all people? He looked out the small window at the city lights. Cars honked below, and people moved about their ordinary lives. None of them knew that in one small apartment, a secret from another world had appeared. Sam leaned back, staring at the beacon on the table. His hands shook, but his eyes did not leave it. His life as a food delivery guy had already changed forever. And deep inside, he felt that this was only the beginning. Sam could not sleep that night. His body was tired from a long day of deliveries, but his mind was restless. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the silver figure that had appeared from the beacon. The calm voice still echoed in his head, asking who held the beacon. By morning, he dragged himself out of bed, exhausted but still thinking about the strange object. He placed it carefully inside his delivery bag before heading out. For some reason, he did not want to leave it behind. It felt unsafe to keep it at home, as if someone could break in and take it. The city outside was its usual busy self. Workers rushed for buses, vendors pushed carts, and the smell of fried food mixed with the noise of honking horns. Sam moved through it all, carrying food to door after door. But every step felt heavier than before. He no longer saw himself as just a delivery worker. He carried something far greater. By late afternoon, while waiting at a traffic light with his scooter, he felt something strange. A soft pulse ran through his bag. He stopped at the side of the road and opened it slightly. The beacon was glowing brighter, as if reacting to something nearby. "Not now," Sam muttered nervously. He zipped the bag quickly and continued, hoping no one had noticed. But a cold thought crept into his mind. If the beacon could glow like that, maybe it was sending out signals. Maybe others really were searching for it. That evening, as the sun set and the city lights began to glow, Sam returned to his apartment. He placed the beacon on the table again. The rings spun faster than usual, and the hum grew louder. Sam stepped back, unsure of what to expect. The air shimmered. The symbols returned, floating gently above the toy. Then the silver figure appeared once more, clearer than before. This time, it did not flicker like a weak image. It looked solid, real, standing tall in the small room. Sam froze. His heart pounded in his chest, but he could not look away. The being's glowing eyes focused on him. Bearer of the beacon, the voice spoke inside his mind again, deep and calm. You have not answered. Who are you? Sam swallowed hard. His throat felt dry, but he managed to speak. My name is Sam. I deliver food. That is all I do. I found this thing by accident. The figure tilted its head slightly, studying him. Accident or fate, the beacon has chosen you. It responds to your touch. That means it sees something within you. Sam shook his head quickly. I am not special. I just ride a scooter all day. I cannot protect anything like this. Maybe you should take it back. The being's silver skin reflected the dim light of the bulb above. It slowly shook its head. I cannot. The beacon has bonded with you. It will not leave your hand. It listens only to its bearer now. Whether you wish it or not, it is yours. Sam felt his knees weaken. He dropped into the chair beside his table, running a hand through his hair. So what happens now? Are people really going to come for it? Are they dangerous? The being stepped closer, though its feet made no sound on the floor. Yes. The beacon is a map and a key. It can open doors between stars. Entire empires would burn worlds to possess it. Already, others are searching. They will sense its light. You must prepare yourself. Sam clenched his fists. I am just one man. How can I fight anyone with machines or weapons? I do not even know how this thing works. The being raised its hand, and the symbols in the air shifted again. This time, they formed images of stars, planets, and ships moving through space. Sam stared in awe, feeling both wonder and fear. My name is Lauren, the being said. I am not of your world. My people once guarded the beacon, but it was lost during a great conflict. It should not be here, yet fate has placed it in your hands. You are not powerless, Sam. You are human. Your kind has strength that others underestimate. Courage, adaptability, and will. These are greater weapons than you believe. Sam listened, his chest tightening. Lauren's words stirred something inside him. For years he had seen himself as ordinary, invisible in the busy city. But now, a being from another world was telling him he mattered. The beacon pulsed again, and Sam felt the vibration in his chest, as if it connected with his heartbeat. Why me? Sam asked quietly. Out of all the people in this world, why me? Lauren's glowing eyes softened. The beacon does not choose the strongest or the smartest. It chooses those who have something hidden inside. Perhaps you do not see it, but the beacon does. Sam sat in silence, staring at the glowing object. He did not know what to believe, but he could not deny what he had seen with his own eyes. The toy was not a toy. It was alive in its own way. And now, it was bound to him. Lauren's form flickered for a moment, as if struggling to remain. I cannot stay long. But I will return. Until then, be cautious. The hunters will come. The words sent a chill down Sam's spine. Hunters? What do they look like? Lauren's voice grew fainter, but still steady. Machines, shadows, and those who control them. You will know when you see them. Trust no stranger who comes asking for the beacon. The figure's light dimmed, the symbols faded, and the room grew quiet once more. The beacon rested on the table, glowing softly as if it had never moved. Sam leaned back in his chair, breathing heavily. He felt a mix of fear, confusion, and a strange spark of determination. His life as a food delivery worker had been simple, almost invisible. But now, the universe itself had reached into his world. He looked at the beacon, its rings spinning in endless motion. He wanted to push it away, to pretend none of this was real. Yet something inside told him that running away was no longer possible. For the first time, Sam realized that his ordinary life was gone. Something far greater had begun, and whether he liked it or not, he was at the center of it. The next morning, Sam felt different. The city outside sounded the same horns, shouts, and footsteps rushing through narrow streets, but inside his chest, there was a weight he had never felt before. The beacon sat on the table, its rings still spinning slowly, glowing with quiet energy. It almost looked peaceful, but Sam knew better now. It was not a toy. It was not even human. He sat at the edge of his bed, staring at it while eating bread and tea. His phone buzzed with delivery orders, but he ignored it for a few minutes. His mind kept going back to Lauren's words. A map. A key. A beacon that could open doors between stars. And hunters who would come for it. Sam sighed. He had never been brave. He had never been special. He was just a man who carried food through crowded streets. Yet now, whether he wanted it or not, something powerful had chosen him. Finally, he put the bread down, grabbed his helmet, and tucked the beacon safely into his bag. He told himself he would go to work like normal. Pretend everything was the same. But deep down, he knew life would never be normal again. That day felt different. At every corner, Sam's eyes darted around. He felt as if someone was watching him. Every sound of machinery, every stranger who looked at him for a second too long, sent shivers through his body. His scooter rattled through traffic, but his hands gripped the handles tightly. The beacon hummed softly inside the bag, reminding him it was still there. By evening, when the last delivery was done, Sam drove back slowly. The streets grew darker, and neon signs painted the walls with bright colors. The city seemed normal on the outside, but Sam carried a secret no one else could imagine. When he entered his apartment, he locked the door and sat down at the table. He placed the beacon carefully in front of him. Its glow filled the small room once again. "Lauren," Sam said quietly. "You said you would return. I need answers." The beacon responded immediately. The rings spun faster, the hum grew louder, and symbols appeared in the air. They twisted and glowed until the tall silver figure formed again. Lauren's glowing eyes looked at Sam, calm but serious. "You seek answers," the voice spoke in Sam's mind. "Yes," Sam replied firmly. "You told me the beacon is a key, but I do not understand." "A key to what? Why is it so important?" Lauren raised one long hand. The symbols in the air shifted and connected, forming pictures. Sam saw shapes of giant ships flying between stars, cities floating on strange planets, and machines that looked alive. Then the images changed to war. Fire. Metal tearing apart. Armies clashing in the void of space. This beacon, Lauren explained, was built by the ancients. They were the first to travel across the stars, long before my people or yours. They created gates that could open paths between worlds. The beacon is one of the keys to those gates. Without it, the doors stay closed. With it, entire galaxies can be reached. Sam's eyes widened. He leaned forward, watching the images dance above the table. "So this can take someone anywhere? To other worlds?" "Yes," Lauren answered. "But that power is dangerous. Many seek it not to explore, but to conquer. Wars have been fought over this beacon. My people once protected it, but it was lost in battle. We thought it gone forever. Yet now it has awakened here, on your world. Sam ran a hand through his hair. Why Earth? Why me? The beacon does not fall by chance, Lauren said. It chooses. You may not see your worth, but it does. You are human, and humanity is not as small as it appears. I have studied your kind. You adapt faster than most species. You face struggle and grow stronger because of it. That is why the beacon accepts you. Sam shook his head. I deliver food. That is all. How can someone like me protect something this important? The silver being's eyes glowed brighter. Courage is not found in titles or weapons. It is found in choice. You already carry the beacon even when you are afraid. That is the beginning of courage. Sam stayed quiet. His chest tightened at those words. He had always seen himself as ordinary, but the beacon had not chosen a soldier or a scientist. It had chosen him. Lauren continued, but know this truth. The hunters will come. They are not like me. They are machines built only to seek and capture. Their masters are warlords who want the beacon for conquest. If they find you, they will not stop until they take it. That is why you must be ready. Sam swallowed hard. The idea of being hunted by alien machines in his own city made his skin crawl. What do I do if they come? I do not have weapons. I cannot fight them. You are not alone, Lauren said. When the time comes, I will guide you. But you must also trust yourself. Use the knowledge of your world. Use the people around you. Sometimes the smallest actions change the greatest battles. The images faded, leaving only the soft glow of the beacon between them. Sam sat back in his chair, silent. He looked at his calloused hands, at the scratches on his scooter helmet lying on the shelf. Could someone like him really stand against forces from the stars? Yet as he looked at the beacon, spinning endlessly, he felt something stir inside him. A spark. A thought he had never allowed himself to believe. Maybe his life was meant for something more than just carrying food boxes. Lauren's form began to fade again. I will return when the time comes. For now, keep the beacon close. Trust no stranger. The hunters are already moving. They will find this city soon. The room dimmed, the symbols vanished, and Sam was alone again. The beacon's glow softened, but it did not fade completely. Sam leaned forward, resting his hands on the table. The words echoed in his mind: wars, hunters, gates between stars. His heart raced, but instead of fear, determination began to grow. He did not know how he would face what was coming, but he knew he could not turn away. Outside, the city lights blinked, unaware of the storm approaching. Inside, in a small room above a bakery, one ordinary delivery man prepared himself for a future that was no longer ordinary. The city looked normal on the surface, but Sam felt every corner was different now. He moved through crowded markets and narrow alleys with his scooter, carrying food as usual, but he could not shake the feeling that danger was close. The beacon hummed softly inside his delivery bag, almost as if it was breathing. Lauren's warning replayed in his mind. Hunters. Machines. War. Sam's eyes scanned every rooftop and every shadow, half expecting to see something unnatural waiting for him. For most of the day nothing strange happened, and Sam began to wonder if maybe he was imagining things. But as evening approached, he noticed something unusual. While waiting outside a tall apartment to deliver food, he saw a dark shape at the far end of the street. At first he thought it was just a car, but it was too still. Its surface reflected light in a way that felt unnatural, like smooth black glass. Sam blinked and looked again. The shape shifted slightly, then melted back into the shadows. His chest tightened. He delivered the food quickly and rushed back to his scooter. The beacon inside his bag pulsed harder, as if warning him. Riding through the streets, Sam kept checking his mirrors. The city lights flashed across signs and windows, but behind him he spotted movement again. A tall figure, metallic and sharp-edged, ran across a rooftop, keeping pace with his scooter. Its glowing red eyes locked onto him. Sam's stomach turned. "The hunters," he whispered. He twisted the throttle, and his scooter rattled forward with all its strength. He turned sharply into side streets, weaving through traffic. But the hunters were fast. Two more appeared, leaping from building to building. Their bodies were smooth and silver-black, moving without sound. The people in the streets did not notice them at first, but Sam could feel their gaze following him alone. He needed to hide. Sam turned into an alley he knew well from years of delivering food. It was narrow, filled with trash bins and stacked boxes, but it led to another street where he could slip away. He leaned into the turn, his scooter barely fitting through. Behind him, the hunters followed easily, their legs bending in strange, inhuman ways as they ran along the walls. One leaped down, landing heavily on the ground. Sparks flew as its metal claws scraped the pavement. Sam's heart pounded. He swerved hard, crashing into boxes, but managed to stay upright. The scooter's engine screamed as he pushed it faster. He burst out of the alley onto a larger street, nearly colliding with a car. The driver shouted angrily, but Sam did not stop. The hunters chased relentlessly. People on the sidewalks screamed and ran as the machines leaped over stalls and vehicles. Sam guided the scooter through every shortcut he knew. He darted through small lanes, across a half-finished construction site, and even down a set of steps. His knowledge of the city kept him ahead, but the hunters were never far behind. At one point, a hunter jumped in front of him, blocking the road. Its arms extended, blades of light glowing from its wrists. Sam skidded the scooter sideways, crashing into a pile of wooden crates. The scooter toppled, but Sam rolled away, clutching his delivery bag tightly. The beacon inside pulsed like a beating heart. The hunter advanced slowly, its eyes glowing brighter. Sam backed away, his legs shaking. Just as the machine reached out, the beacon flared with sudden light. A wave of energy burst outward, knocking the hunter back into a wall. The impact cracked the concrete, and the machine twitched as sparks flew from its chest. Sam stared in shock at the glowing beacon in his hands. It had protected him on its own. The rings spun rapidly, and the hum grew louder than ever. Before he could breathe, another hunter dropped down from above. Sam ran, clutching the beacon against his chest. He darted into another alley, sweat dripping from his face, lungs burning. He could hear the metallic footsteps behind him, steady and fast. Suddenly, a voice filled his mind again. Calm but urgent. "Run to the river," Lauren said. "I will guide you." Sam followed without question. He sprinted through streets he barely recognized, the beacon glowing brighter with each step. He pushed through crowds, leapt over barriers, and forced his legs to keep moving even when they begged to stop. Finally, he reached the wide river that cut through the city. The water reflected the lights of tall buildings, and boats drifted lazily along its surface. Sam stumbled onto the riverbank, gasping for breath. The hunters appeared behind him, their glowing eyes fixed on the beacon. Sam turned to face them, clutching the object tightly. His body trembled, but his eyes were fierce. He refused to let them take it. The hunters spread out, their bodies humming with energy. Then the beacon flared again. A bright field of light surrounded Sam, forming a barrier between him and the machines. They struck at it, but their claws bounced off as sparks flew. From the beacon's light, Lauren appeared once more, his silver form standing tall beside Sam. His presence filled the air with calm strength. "You are not alone," Lauren said. His glowing eyes turned to the hunters. "Leave this world. The machines screeched, their metallic bodies twisting unnaturally. But the beacon's energy surged again, forcing them back. One collapsed into the water with a hiss of steam, while the others leapt away into the shadows, vanishing as quickly as they had appeared. Sam dropped to his knees, exhausted. His chest rose and fell as he clutched the beacon tightly. Lauren placed a hand on his shoulder, steady and firm. "You see now, Sam. The hunters are real. They will not stop. But you outran them. You used your knowledge of the city, your courage, and the beacon's strength. This is only the beginning." Sam looked up at the silver figure, sweat dripping down his face. Fear still lived inside him, but something stronger grew there too. Determination. He had faced the hunters and survived. The night air was heavy with silence after the hunters vanished. Sam sat near the riverbank, holding the beacon close. His chest rose and fell with deep breaths, but his eyes no longer held only fear. They carried a spark of courage he had not felt before. Lauren's silver figure stood beside him, shining faintly in the dark. The reflection of his form rippled across the moving water. "You see the truth now," Lauren said, his voice calm yet strong. "The hunters will return. They are machines that never stop. They will come again for the beacon, and for you." Sam swallowed hard but nodded. "I am not giving this to them. Not after what I saw. They cannot have it." A hint of pride touched Lauren's glowing eyes. "Then you must prepare. Humanity must prepare. The beacon is more than an object. It is a key. It can teach, protect, and awaken strength. But it cannot do everything. The courage of a living soul is needed." Sam thought about his simple life as a delivery worker. He had always been overlooked, someone who carried food from place to place, unnoticed by most people. Yet now the fate of something greater rested in his hands. He felt the weight of it, but also a strange honor. Lauren turned to face the city lights across the river. "Your kind has always been underestimated. But in my journeys I have seen what humans can do. You adapt, you resist, and you fight for each other. That is why the beacon chose to awaken with you." Sam frowned slightly. "Me? But I am no soldier. I do not know how to fight." "You do," Lauren answered. "You fight every day, in ways you do not see. You endure long hours, you face hardship, and yet you continue. You know the streets of the city better than anyone. You know how to move, how to survive. That knowledge saved you from the hunters. You are already fighting in your way." Sam was silent for a moment, then nodded slowly. His heart still carried doubt, but Lauren's words planted new strength within him. Before he could reply, the beacon pulsed again. Its rings spun faster, and a beam of light shot upward into the sky. Sam gasped, worried that the hunters would see it, but Lauren placed a hand on his shoulder. "It is calling," Lauren said. "The beacon is not only a weapon. It carries memory. Look." The beam shifted, forming images in the air above the river. Sam's eyes widened as he saw shapes of stars, planets, and great fleets moving across the galaxy. Strange worlds with shining towers appeared, then burning battlefields filled with shadows of the hunters. He saw people, not human, but tall and graceful, standing beside machines of light. They fought against the hunters but were driven back. In one scene, a figure placed the beacon into a vessel, sending it away as their world crumbled. The vision faded, leaving only the sound of the river. Sam exhaled slowly. "So this is from your world. You sent it away to keep it safe." "Yes," Lauren said. "It was meant to find a bearer. Someone worthy, who could carry its light when all else was lost. That bearer is you, Sam." Sam's throat tightened. The truth pressed on him heavily. He was not chosen because of power or skill. He was chosen because of something deeper, something he had never seen in himself. Suddenly, Sounds echoed from the streets behind them. Engines. Shouts. Sam turned quickly, fearing the hunters again, but this time he saw people. Human soldiers and police vehicles rushed toward the river. Lights flashed across the water. They must have seen the chase, Sam said. The vehicles stopped, and armed officers stepped out, pointing their weapons. A man with a strong voice called, "You there! Step away from that thing." Sam looked at Lauren, unsure what to do. Lauren's form flickered faintly, as if the energy that let him appear was growing weaker. "They do not understand," Lauren said. "But they are your kind. Show them courage. Show them the truth." Sam stood, raising the beacon high. "Wait. I am not your enemy. This thing is not dangerous to us. It saved me. Listen to me." The soldiers hesitated, unsure. Some still aimed at him, but others lowered their weapons slightly. The beacon pulsed again, and a gentle wave of light spread outward. The humans near the river felt warmth instead of fear. Their eyes softened. One of the officers stepped forward slowly. "What is this, son? What have you brought here?" Sam tightened his grip on the beacon. He looked into the man's eyes and spoke with steady voice. "It is hope. It is a gift from beyond the stars. And it is in danger. If we do not protect it, hunters will come for all of us. They already came for me tonight. They will not stop." The officer glanced at the glowing object, then back at Sam. Something in his face changed. He no longer looked at Sam as a stranger, but as someone carrying a truth too heavy to ignore. Behind them, Lauren's voice spoke once more, though only Sam could hear. "This is your moment. Humanity must unite. They must see their own strength. Speak for them." Sam stepped closer to the soldiers, his voice louder now. "I am not special. I was only a delivery worker. But this beacon chose me. And I believe it chose me because I know the city, I know these people, and I will not run anymore. If we stand together, we can fight the hunters. If we hide, we will all fall. It is our choice." Silence followed his words. The river flowed quietly, reflecting the city's lights. Then, one by one, the soldiers lowered their weapons. The officer gave a firm nod. "Then we stand with you." Relief washed through Sam, but also new responsibility. The beacon pulsed warmly in his hands, as if agreeing with their choice. Lauren's form flickered once more. His glowing eyes rested on Sam. "This is the beginning. You have done what even I could not. You have lit the fire of humanity's strength. Remember, Sam, courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to keep moving despite it. That is your gift." Sam's heart burned with determination. He looked at the soldiers and then at the city beyond the river. For the first time, he did not feel small. He did not feel invisible. He felt like a part of something greater, something worth fighting for. The hunters would return. He knew that now. But when they did, they would not face one man. They would face all of humanity, united. The night sky over the city burned with strange light. Clouds rolled apart as if torn by invisible claws, and from the darkness above, the hunters came. Their sharp forms cut across the stars, metal wings glinting as they descended. The sound of their engines shook windows and rattled streets. Sam stood at the edge of the river, holding the beacon high. Soldiers surrounded him, their weapons ready, their faces hard with courage but also pale with fear. Civilians gathered behind barriers, watching as shadows grew larger overhead. "They are coming," Lauren's voice whispered inside Sam's mind. The silver figure flickered beside him like smoke made of light. "This is the test. Humanity must prove itself here." Sam's heart pounded. His hands shook, but he held the beacon steady. "We will fight," he said. "We will not run. The first hunter landed with a crash of metal, its claws digging into the pavement. Its eyes glowed red as it scanned the humans. Others followed, filling the street with a wall of steel and darkness. The soldiers opened fire. Bullets sparked against armored plates. Rockets streaked into the sky, exploding against the hunters with bursts of fire. Some hunters staggered, but most pushed forward, their limbs cutting through barriers. One raised an arm and unleashed a beam of energy that scorched the ground, forcing the soldiers back. Sam shouted above the chaos. "Stand together. Do not break." The beacon pulsed in his grip. Rings of light spun faster, and a wave of energy burst outward, striking the hunters. The machines stumbled, their red eyes flickering. The humans saw this and gained hope. They pressed forward again, firing and shouting as one. For the first time, the hunters hesitated. Sam felt power flowing from the beacon into his chest, filling him with warmth and strength. His fear did not vanish, but it no longer controlled him. He ran forward, holding the beacon high. Wherever its light touched, the hunters faltered. Their armor cracked, their movements slowed. Lauren's voice guided him. "The beacon awakens because of you. Your courage feeds its strength. Keep moving, Sam. Lead them." Sam climbed onto a broken vehicle, waving the beacon for all to see. His voice carried across the battlefield. "Do not stop. They can be beaten. Humanity is stronger than them." The crowd roared. Soldiers shouted with new fire in their voices. Civilians threw stones, bottles, anything they could, joining the fight. What began as fear turned into resistance. What began as resistance became unity. The hunters pressed harder, but humanity pressed harder still. One giant hunter rose above the others, its body twice their size, its claws long enough to crush a tank. Its eyes burned like twin flames as it stepped forward. The ground shook under its weight. Lauren's voice grew urgent. "That is their leader. The beacon must face it. Without its fall, the others will not retreat." Sam's breath caught in his throat. The creature towered over him like a nightmare of steel. Yet the soldiers looked at him with trust, waiting for his lead. He clenched the beacon tightly and ran forward. The giant hunter swung its claw, but Sam leaped aside, rolling across the pavement. The claw smashed into the ground, leaving a deep scar in the earth. Sam rose quickly, pointing the beacon at the monster. Light burst forth, slamming into the metal chest. The beast staggered, but did not fall. The soldiers fired rockets and heavy rounds, tearing chunks of armor away. Civilians cheered and threw fire into its joints. But still the machine advanced, its claws sweeping wide. One strike sent a vehicle flying into the river. Another tore apart a building wall. Sam climbed higher, racing up the wreckage of a collapsed tower. The giant hunter followed, smashing through stone and steel. At the top, under the open sky, Sam turned. The beacon pulsed bright as the sun. "This ends now," he whispered. The hunter lunged, its claw aimed to crush him. Sam raised the beacon with both hands and shouted with all his strength. The beacon answered. A storm of light erupted, brighter than any fire. Rings of energy expanded outward, striking the giant hunter full in the chest. Metal screamed as cracks split its body. Its red eyes flickered, then shattered into sparks. With a final roar of twisting steel, the machine collapsed, crashing to the ground below. The shock wave spread across the battlefield. The smaller hunters froze, their systems faltering. One by one, they fell silent, their limbs locking before they crashed into stillness. The night became quiet once more. Smoke rose from the streets, but the hunters were gone. Humanity still stood. Sam climbed down slowly, the beacon dimming in his hands. Soldiers and civilians rushed forward, cheering. They lifted their weapons and voices together. The sound filled the city with hope. Lauren's silver form appeared one last time, faint and gentle. His glowing eyes rested on Sam. "You have done it. You proved what I always believed. Humanity is not weak. Humanity carries strength even in its smallest souls. You have lit a fire that will never die." Sam felt his chest tighten. "Will you stay?" he asked. Lauren shook his head. "My time ends. The beacon no longer needs my voice. It has you. And through you, it has them." He looked toward the cheering people. "Guard this light, Sam. Protect it, and protect them. The hunters may return one day, but humanity will be ready." The silver figure faded, leaving only the night air. Sam stood among his people, no longer just a delivery worker, no longer invisible. He was a bearer of hope, a leader forged not by choice but by courage. The beacon glowed softly in his hands, warm like a living heart. As the sun rose over the broken city, light touched the faces of every man, woman, and child who had fought together. They saw themselves not as victims, but as victors. Humanity had faced the hunters and stood tall. Sam looked at the horizon, the beacon pressed to his chest. "We are ready," he whispered.